Many people know that the fish was a symbol that was used by early Christians in the first few centuries. If you go into the catacombs in Rome, for example, you can see fish carved into the walls of the catacombs, these places where the Christians would bury their dead. Even today, too, driving around, you see fish on the back of people's cars and trucks. But the fish wasn't the only symbol that was used by the early Christians. They would also carve anchors into the walls of the catacombs. And the anchor is a reminder of Hebrews 6, where it says that our hope in God is an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. The anchor was also a symbol used by the early Christians. Yet another symbol, and this wasn't a symbol that was used as widely, but another symbol, and this is the symbol that I've been thinking about a lot lately, is the symbol of a boat. Right? Christians would draw boats with a cross for a mast. And I really like that. And it reminds me of the story of Jesus calming the storm. Right? The disciples are in a boat out on the Sea of Galilee when suddenly this raging storm comes up and waves are crashing over the boat. The boat is nearly swamped and the disciples are crying out in terror. But when Jesus wakes up, he isn't anxious, he isn't afraid. He simply gets up and he speaks to the wind and the waves and he says, "Be still." And that's all he does. But instantly the wind stops blowing, the waves stop pounding, and it is completely calm. Jesus has absolute authority over everything. I read the other week about a monastic order called the Carthusians. And the Carthusians were founded in the year 1084. And the motto of this monastic order of these monks, the motto translated into English is this: "The cross is steady while the world is turning." Right? The cross is steady while the world is turning. And the world is turning right now. Right? We don't know how far this virus is going to spread in Canada. We don't know how many of us are going to be infected by the virus. And we don't know what's going to happen with the economy. We don't know what's going to happen with our jobs. Like, the world is turning. We're in a storm. We're living with so much chaos and uncertainty. But the cross is steady. It's a historical fact that Jesus died on the cross. He died to forgive your sin. He died to defeat Satan and evil. He died because he loves you. That's how far Jesus would go to save you, to have you, to rescue you. He would die for you. He died to give you hope and a future. He died so that he can be king. The cross is steady. There is unshakable certainty in the cross. And this doesn't mean that there's no suffering in the world. Sometimes we suffer terribly, and we can expect even more suffering in the coming weeks and months. We will suffer physically. We may suffer economically. But in the midst of all of it, there is an unshakable certainty. The cross is steady. Jesus is king. Continue to hold on to that hope. The steadiness of Jesus. Don't let it go. The cross is steady.